Alright everybody, welcome to another Mercury video. As you can see in this one, it's moved since last time you saw it. So, it died yesterday, and then for some reason today, it wanted to fire up. It just took, I messed around with the distributor cap a little bit, but I don't think that was the issue. I think the issue was, I don't know, maybe the gas is just nasty, I don't know. This is the color of the gas that is coming up through it. I'm thinking I'm going to need to run some more gas through it in order to clear it up. I also plan on replacing those fuel filters eventually. The freaking chickens. So there's a bit of sediment in this one that will have to be gone through. So last time you guys saw it was running a little bit rough, and so I've decided I'm going to pull the valve covers off again. Shut up! I'm going to pull the valve covers again and just kind of look and make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. There was a little ticking noise coming from this other side, so I might run it a little bit with the valve covers off and see how that goes, but we should be good. Let's see. Alright, this valve cover, all the push rod, or all the rock arms actually look wet. This one on the end, not as much as the others, but you know, the oil does run down this direction anyway. Looking at all the push rods, I think I replaced one, this one right here, on this one last time. Also remember that these rocker arms, the oil doesn't come up through the push rods, it comes through this rocker shaft and then kind of goos out this end and then runs down. I mean, it looks good. You know, I'm glad I didn't find anything else broken or anything like that, but it's oiling, which is good. So we'll pull the other side off and see what it looks like, and then maybe fire it up with the valve covers off. Go from there. Alright, here's the other side. There's oil on all of them except for a little less on this one, but it is oily, so it is getting something. I'm going to start it, obviously with the valve covers off, and watch it run. See if I can't identify where the noise is coming from. Alright, there it is. You know, they're all moving really nicely. Yeah, they're kind of pooching out oil. They're all pooching out oil. Here's the driver's side. Got oil coming out of all of them. So that's good. This side I'm fine with. Maybe it was this side I cleaned. I don't remember. Pretty sure it was that other side though. Yeah, this one's running really, really nice. Sometimes you get bored doing mechanical stuff and you want to work on some cosmetics. So this car originally was this color. This is pale green, a much better color than the boring gray got colored. I believe it got repainted, but while I'm looking at it, I'm not so sure. It might have just be faded, I don't know. Because I took a little time today to scuff up the paint here on this rear and make it look like that. So that's the original color the car came with. And I love it way more than that. So I don't know if the gray's worn off, or you know, or it really is just faded. I'm not really sure. All right, so this is basically what I'm doing. So lots of water with the sponge, and then just lightly, just in circles with the Scotch-Brite. Now this is probably taking off a little bit of color, but I know this is single stage paint, so there should be some underneath it. Plus, the more gray I get off, the better the green is going to look. So you can kind of see how the nasty just comes right off, and it looks a heck of a lot better. Look at it just like that. I know that the shadows make it so you can't really see it, but we're talking nasty to not bad. Alright guys, I've upped my game a little bit. So instead of using the Scotch-Brite, which was a little rough on the paint, nothing that I can't fix, but started using these Mr. Clean or magic erasers, I believe they're called. Look at that, it goes right through it, right where I want it. I do it right, I can get a really even finish right there. So I'm going to do that for the rest of the trunk. Here is half of it done. You can see the color change. It's pretty dramatic, this side to this side, and I love this color much more. So you can see just a little bit, I did the bottom half of the front driver door, and you can see compared to the fender there is quite a bit of a difference. So this is just basic paint cleaning. I haven't tried to buff any of it. I don't think any of it's going to buff out, to tell you the truth. I think the best thing to do on this car would be a clear overall everything, all the rust and everything. So but it does make a little bit of a difference. I might scrub just a little bit more. You can still see some of the lines from when the water collects on the trim and then goes down, but it's definitely an improvement for sure. It's a whole different color actually. Chopstick and Noodle, they want to help work on the Mercury, right? You want to help? Yeah? You don't. You just want to laze around all day. What you got, Chopstick? You got a ball? Give me that ball. Come on. Give me the ball. I'll throw it. If you give it to me, I'll throw it. Come on. Good boy. You want this ball? Do you want this ball? You do? Alright, you ready? Left-handed throw. Awful throw. Good boy. Bring it back. Come on. Bring it back. Oh, you failed. Oh, he gave up. He's done. Noodle, what do you think about that? You don't play fetch. You don't even want to. So the day after it died, when it was still in the driveway, I went to start it and it fired right up. So I did a few checks. I checked the coil, made sure it had power, I made sure it had spark, and then it fired up. So what I'm thinking is the issue is there's a timing issue. You'll see if the timing is set wrong, that when the car is hot, it won't like to start. And I think that's the problem with this. Let me go ahead and show you guys. I mean, right now it's completely cold, so I can put my hand on the exhaust manifold. I haven't touched it at all. So let's see how well it will start, if it will start, and then we can go from there. So, chopstick, stop barking! There you go. I mean, it starts right up, and that's the only thing I can think of. The exhaust sounds awful. I mean, whoever gets this after me, put an exhaust on it. So, no more smoke, really. I mean, not even at startup after sitting, it doesn't smoke. So I'm happy with that. One thing that you guys noticed in the last video is that it was leaking, and it was leaking out of the top tank of the radiator. So I bought a new radiator, and it's coming. So that's something that we'll do probably later in this video, is put a new radiator in it. But that's something it definitely needs before we can get it out on the road. With the vacuum advance on the distributor unplugged, you can see it right there. I have this timing light, so right now we're idling right at 700. It's actually not bad. We hit the timing light on the balancer. You can see, I don't know if you guys can see that, as close as I can. You can see the little mark and the little tab. So timing is off just a little bit. I mean, it needs to get changed just a bit. But the problem that I'm having is I can't get the distributor to move. So the distributor is stuck. So I'm hoping a couple more heat cycles will help it out. I've undone the clamp already, but it's just permanently wedged in there. Once that happens, what I think will happen is the throttle response will be just a little bit better. I mean, if you look at it right now, if I give it some gas, I mean, hesitates a whole bunch, so I'm hoping changing the timing will help a lot. So if I can get that freed up and moved, that will help. So I'm going to kind of soak it in penetrating oil, and hopefully that makes a difference. So I've been running this car once a day for a week. Basically, I run it up to temperature, and the engine has quieted down a whole bunch. Really, the loudest noise is there's an exhaust hanger underneath, but now that I hooked the exhaust up correctly, it's rattling around and squeaking. So there's that. But right now it's not warmed up all the way yet. It runs a little bit better once it's warmed up, but almost all the noise that we heard in the last few videos is almost all gone. Other than maybe a little bit of an exhaust leak, there's no noise coming out of this engine at all. It's awesome. So I'm definitely happy about that. As you can see here, and you saw from the last video, the radiator core is basically toast. So you can physically see water leaking out of it. Basically it starts at the top, right around here, all along here, and goes straight down and leaks out. Now I have another radiator on order that should be here tomorrow that I'll put in the car, but you can't really go very far with it leaking that badly. So you can see leaking. Well, there you go. The Mercury is a million times better than it was when I started it 13 videos ago. So I wanted to go a little bit farther on the Mercury. I wanted to put a windshield in, fix the windows, fix the interior, all that kind of stuff. But honestly, I think I'm going to sell it for probably a lot less than I was initially going to sell it. And there's really one reason why. I really want to start on the Oldsmobile, and I promised myself I'd finish this before I started on that. If you're interested in it, I'd rather sell it to a YouTube viewer instead of some random dude on Craigslist. I would like between $4,000 and $5,000 for it. I think that's a decent price, considering it does all the things, runs, drives, and stops, which it didn't do before. So if you're interested in it, email me. I'm going to put my email in the description. I'm negotiable on it. I have a whole bunch of parts for it. I'd like to see it go to a good home. So before I throw it up on Craigslist, I figured I'd offer it to you guys and see what you think. So let me know, and if it sells anytime soon, then we're going to start on the Oldsmobile.